This is Africa's voice in Italian football.
Okay, so welcome to the first episode of Calcio Mzansi. I'm your host, Antonio Cristaudi, and I'm joined here by a few friends, Angelo Napoli and Alessandro Pupillo. How's it, guys?
How's Antonio?
How's it?
Proud to be here.
So you guys know how long I've been wanting to do this, and it's nice to actually come across some people that are Serie A fanatics like myself. Obviously, a love and a passion for Serie A here in South Africa is not something very common. So Angelo, you've come directly from Italy. I know that you're here currently, and you bring a lot of that Italian spice with you back this side. And Alessandro, you've grown up in a very Roman household. So
yeah, definitely.
It's nice to have quite a few Romani around here as well. I myself am a Milanista, but I was born here in South Africa, grown up to a Sicilian father. So supporting a very northern team, but should be supporting someone from down south, except the team that I should be supporting is playing in Serie C. I mean, let's hope they don't even go down to Serie D.
We don't judge.
But yeah, I think starting off with this episode, we've just seen the first week of games that obviously have come through with Inter's dominant performance over Torino, alongside Juve's, I would say, a bit unconvincing win over Parma. Roma's win that I feel for me was quite a bit of a work in progress, and obviously the biggest disappointment of the week being Milan losing to Cremonese 2-1.
People are talking about Serie A, it's something that we must. And especially here in South Africa, there is a lot of people that support Serie A teams, Serie B teams. And the fact that no one actually did something like this before us has to say a lot about it. And we are to bring you that gap, don't you think?
Ale, what do you think?
I think it's a good point, because I think Serie A or supporters in South Africa is like very quiet compared to the rest of the world. So I think by having something like this, we could like open it up and maybe get a bigger following and more people that could stop maybe watching the Premier League and start watching outside and look at Serie A for once, you know?
Oh, I must totally agree with you there. With regards to the Premier League, obviously knowing that it's an English league and English is obviously the most widely spoken language here across South Africa, obviously alongside Zulu and Afrikaans. I think that's because of that common factor that everyone speaks English, it's easier for them to follow. Do you feel that maybe South African people don't really watch Serie A because maybe it's too tactical? I mean, it's such an incredible league where you see players who thrive in the Premier League very often struggle to perform the same way in Serie A. It's very rare that they do well. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I think it's a beautiful league that really shows a lot of talent. And if you can thrive in Serie A, I really believe that you can thrive anywhere else across the globe.
Yeah, I agree with that. And especially, like I would say, tactical doesn't mean it's boring, you know. So I think if you love soccer and you love everything behind it, the actual essence of football itself, then you must love Serie A. It is something that you have to love and understand. You mustn't just focus on the superficial aspect of the game.
I feel like Serie A is more of a league that players can actually just play their game, whereas I feel like in other leagues it's more worried about results. Don't get me wrong, that results are important, but there's more things. If you make a mistake in other leagues, it's like it's worse than Serie A. I think that's where the difference is.
Do you think that you could define Serie A in the sense that I view it like this, that the team who wins the Scudetto is the team that makes the least amount of mistakes? Because whenever you see a game in Serie A, sometimes, you know, it's the game will end 1-0, and very often it ends 3-2 or 4-3. But there's always that one goal difference generally between games. It's rare if a team is winning 2-0, and if a team is winning 2-0, it's a very convincing win. They've done the job. You can say it's a job well done. And if you've lost more than 2-0, well, it's an embarrassment. you've been embarrassed, you've been absolutely dismantled by your opposition. Would you agree with me on that aspect?
I mean, the answer to that, just look at the past few years of Serie A winners. It's been already a couple of them compared to the like previous years and compared to the Premier League as well. It is we have a lot of variety, a lot of competition. I do think that the team that makes less mistakes will take it. Like look at last season. Last season, Napoli won. I mean, they won the league by 1 point with Inter, and the Serie A it's a tactical game and a game of chess. Every game is a game of chess. Who the person who makes less mistakes, the team who makes less mistakes will win it.
And the biggest reason why I jump behind exactly what you said is looking at the statistic about it, the statistic. I just see here that Napoli only scored 59 goals last season and they only conceded 27 goals, whereas Inter scored 79 goals and conceded 35. And that was the reason that you had a difference of 1 point in the Serie A. I mean, that's really crazy to think of.
Point. The difference is Antonio Conte. That's straight and simple.
Do you think that Antonio Conte is an automatic, that he automatically puts you in there for a title race year on year?
I would say no, because Conte needs a team.
I'm a big fan of Antonio Conte from the Juventus days, from the Euro 2016 days with Italy. Like the guy carried the Italian team, like with the Pelle and the Eder. Like the guy can create magic out of nothing. So the fact that he can redeem himself as well with Napoli, and in my opinion, he can also do a back-to-back again with them this year.
Ale, you said no, but I mean, he did it last season pretty much. I mean, against all odds, I think Napoli had maybe a team and two players that were good enough to come off the bench and win it for them. Why do you say no? No, you say no. He needs a team.
I would say is that Conte needs a team and he needs players that fit his game style. So I think that Lukaku was a very, very good striker for his type of play. Okay. Where if you like take teams like that he coached before, maybe Tottenham or something, they didn't do brilliantly with them. But the moment he plays for a team that he's passionate about and has the right players, the key players, and he will do well with them. The moment he has bickering or fights with maybe management or something, that's when he falls off. And that's why I say he needs a team. And
well, we know that Conte loves to fight with management when he doesn't get his money in to buy the players he wants. I think that's the one thing this season that he's gotten right. Somehow he's managed to convince one of the most difficult presidents in the world to give him what he wants. And well, we've seen how Napoli's actually gone about that in spending money to sign Kevin De Bruyne and a few other ridiculous talents like Lorenzo Luca from Napoli, which I really hope that this becomes something, I mean, from Udinese, but I really hope that this becomes something crazy, even just for the national team to sign a player like Lorenzo Luca and just, help Italy get a proper full in and out striker that I think we've been missing. I just, if Conte is going to take Napoli to a second Scudetto, I hope that he does it in such a fashion that it in some way makes the Italian national team look better. What do you guys think?
I think with the national team, it starts not only from like the top teams, but also from the lower teams in the Serie A. Like I watched, what was it, Udinese Verona. The guys, I mean the soccer players from Italy in that match. I think there were just two of them. So besides like the top players that we have, Barella, I'm thinking Luca is gonna be an important factor of the new national team. We do need an actual bringing like young people that can have space and play for their team, and not only like in Serie B, which is like full of them. You need to give them space.
100%.
definitely, I think getting Luca would be like a great start for Italian football and for the national team, because I think Italy's always been missing that out and out striker that we used to have with maybe like Del Piero or something. So I think getting a strong out and out striker that can actually put goals away maybe could help us be a better team that
Il
and
bomber.
qualify for World Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, I think after Balotelli, I think Italy's really gone through a miserable phase with strikers. I know that last season we had Moise Kean that was on fire for a while, but the thing is we don't have a striker that just remains like a top level striker, the top position throughout the whole of Europe, and it's actually quite a frustrating talking point because the game against Germany, Retegi didn't show up, Moise Kean decided to show up in the last few minutes. I mean, I really hope that Conte can bring out an absolute monster from Lorenzo Luca. I hope that he brings out that inner dog and, someone who he smells a goal and he puts the ball away in the back of the net. Not that I don't like the other strikers in Serie A. It's about time that the Capo Caroniere becomes an Italian again and helps our national team become a bit better. But moving on from Napoli, let's move on to Inter. What did you guys think of Inter's performance against Torino? I mean, that was, for me, one of the biggest shockers of the season. I did not expect Marco Baroni's team to be so weak and Chievo's identity to push through so quickly.
So do you think it's like the merit of Inter or the demerit of Torino for that match? Like the scoreline is crazy. Like it was a trash. They got trashed. Torino didn't even know how to answer back in every single aspect of that game.
Well, I, in all honesty, didn't expect, like I said, Chievo's identity to come through so quickly. I thought that Inter's high press was very good. I thought that Sucic, I can't say his name properly,
What a
was
guy! What a player!
incredible. Wow, like I didn't, someone who's playing their first game for Inter pretty much in Serie A, I did not expect him to be that good. Although I felt that Inter playing their 3-5-2, I thought their midfield was a bit weak. There were many times that I thought maybe Torino could have been a bit better. And I think against better teams, Inter won't just win by a massive 5-0 margin. But I really, really feel that Marco Baroni's team just didn't follow anything that he said. I thought that like Torino just wasn't there. They just didn't show up to the party. I don't know what else to say. It was they got dismantled, they got destroyed, and Martinez just looks so hungry this season. Like he looks like he's on fire. Thuram as well. The signing of Bonnie is crazy. I think that Inter. I low-key didn't think that they were even going to compete for the Scudetto, but I think that they're gonna push it down to the wire this season. Really, they will. Do you agree?
Alessandro?
I think, Inter's performance was completely dominant. That was also a shock to me. But I also think Torino is, like, I'm not saying Chievo's not a good coach or whatever. He's doing well with the team. Obviously, he's adapted quickly. But I also think Torino is not what they were last season. I feel like last season they were a little bit stronger. They lost a few players on their side, so I think that really knocked them hard. And with Chievo's really strong team, that I wouldn't give him the full benefit of the doubt that he actually made that team. That's completely made from Inzaghi. Completely. Even though he's left, he's just taken a team that's built together, gelled over the years, and he's taken a strong team and just dominated.
I have a question for Ange actually about what you just said now.
Yeah.
I know that he took over from Inzaghi, who was there for a really long time, and obviously we've seen. In my arguments, I still think the best team in Europe over the past couple of years has definitely been Inter, even though they didn't show it in any form of trophies and a bit of a dismal performance in that Champions League final. But do you think that Inter got a bit of a head start of Serie A with Chievo going to the Club World Cup, even though the performances at the Club World Cup were shocking?
I mean, it wasn't an easy assignment for Kibo to take Inzaghi's heritage, Like Inzaghi, you must give him credit. He brought the Inter's team into like peak stats. We haven't seen an Italian team reach in a while, 2 Champions League finals, Scudettos. It is hard for Kivo to take this team. The players are still there, most of them, which is not too bad for Kivo. I think they're gonna fight until the end for this Scudetto. Club World Cup, I wanna give him the benefit of the doubt. They're getting he's getting to know the team better slowly. I think they're gonna fight until the end with Napoli and with Juve, in my opinion, for the title.
Yo, I won't lie, Juve is crazy. Juve, yo,
You never sleep on Juve. You never sleep on Juve. You can't.
I don't know. Ale, what do you think about that statement? I mean, Juve to push for Scudetto as well is a bit of a crazy statement.
I wouldn't say for the Scudetto, but definitely top four because they do have a strong team. I'm not saying they don't, but for Scudetto is a bit of a long shot, I'd say.
I mean, we'll see each other again in May, and see.
Well, I was reading
Maybe.
a stat earlier today that it's like the first time since that Juve is starting a Serie A season without an Italian coach. So clearly they are quite desperate to change something around since it's been a while since they won their last Scudetto. I mean, we haven't really seen them in any way or form, challenge for a Scudetto over the last 5 years. They've been they've been very shocking. But I mean, I don't know. I look at this Juve team and I really feel that, also looking at them from the Club World Cup, I feel that Juve has no real leader. Juve at the moment, the one thing that Juve, I think, regardless of what team you support, we can always say one thing about Juve is they've always had a very concrete leader, whether it's Buffon or Del Piero, Pirlo. You've always had your concrete leaders in certain positions, and I feel that Juve at this moment in time doesn't have any of that. I mean, they're putting a lot of their hopes onto a young player in Yildiz. I mean, he's what, 23 years old, 22 years old, and you're expecting this guy to carry your whole club for you. I don't know if it's the right formula for Juve. I don't know if Juve is going to go very far because of this lack of leadership that exists.
Definitely, I think them actually forcing Szczesny out of the club and forcing him to actually retire was a big mistake because I feel like he was that leadership role that they need at the moment now. And now the point that he's actually gone to Boston, doing very well with them and sign a new deal is a bit of a slap in the face to Juve. I mean, he's definitely still at top of his game.
Now I can agree with you. I mean, Szczesny was at Roma and he left Roma to go to Juve, which, like you said, a slap in the face or a slap on the wrist for Roma because now he's just gone to your biggest rival. And then you've got Juve that's pretty much doing the same thing that like Manchester United is doing. It's just, we don't like this player. Let's just, we'll retire him for someone else when you actually have no need to retire the person, but rather just a personal or an interpersonal conflict that's existing within the club. I don't know how you feel about Juve and the way they go about these things.
I mean, at the end of the day, there's a cycle that ends and a new cycle that starts. I don't see more about the Szczesny anymore because things happen. He wanted to retire, then Barcelona called, and you cannot say no to that. So I don't want to give too much discredit to Juventus. I just want to credit them instead with the acquisition of Di Gregorio, which is I think an exceptional player, an exceptional keeper. I think the secret to Juve is to restart with key players and especially like young ones, like Yildiz, Cointesau, Thuram. They're like solid players. They're young. That's put next to like experienced players like Bremer, Gatti, and then start players like David, Jonathan David, the Canadian. I think that's a solid team. You cannot sleep on them.
So I hear you with that point, but at the same time, starting with all that youth and young players to build on, I feel like in some way, yes, you're right, but then does it make sense for Juve to sell such a young talent in Nicolo Savona to Nottingham Forest? I mean, what a player. Imbangula gone as well. wow, these are like amazing players. And the fact that Juve is just, brushing it off. Okay, we'll sell this person, we'll sell that person. Dean Huijsen as a perfect example. Talented player. Mourinho wanted him at Roma at all cost. Juve says, okay, cool, goes to Roma, puts on performances that, are out of this world. Juve sells him to Bournemouth because they prefer to sell outside of Serie A, obviously to maintain their competitiveness. But you've lost a huge talent out of Serie A. And I don't know what Juve's end game is with all of this, but the team they could have had by now, should they have kept all their youth players, is actually a bit ridiculous.
And the price that Nottingham Forest paid for someone like Savona, like 16 million for one of the best talents in Italy. I disagree with that move, but we'll see how that will play out.
I know that Juve's just signed Jonathan David, which was pretty much on the radar of, I think, every top 6 Serie A club, starting from Roma to Milan, Inter, and so forth. And nothing materialized in the past 5 years, and him going to Juve. I mean, is he a good enough striker to take over from Vlahovic? This is a question that I have, because guys, Vlahovic is a goal machine. It's just he's a man who has not been given a good enough team over the past couple of years. I mean, is he the right guy to replace him?
I've seen the memes out there about Vlahovic. Like, it's I enjoy the Vlahovic at Fiorentina. The one at Juventus, like the goal is this side and he's shooting that side. Like I think he hits 3 nonnas out there already. So if you bring your nonna at the stadium, if you're from Juventus, hide your nonnas away when Vlahovic is playing. I think David is a good replacement. Even if Vlahovic, from the news I'm hearing, he will remain.
Oof.
Definitely, I think I've always rated Jonathan David as a great striker. I mean, he performs so well at Lille there in France, and I think this is his breakthrough, his actual time to shine in a big team in a better league, and let's see what he can do. And I think it's a good replacement. So,
what do you guys think of Kolo Muani? It looks like he might stay at Juve, and if Kolo Muani stays at Juve, I think we'll definitely see Vlahovic out the door.
Definitely. Kolomwani is a good striker. He's just indecisive, in my opinion. He can have a good game, bad game, and he's not consistent, and that's the problem.
Do you think it's an age thing,
Yeah.
or do you think that with time it's just he'll become better?
He needs more experience, definitely. Way more experience and more open games and stuff like that, because he's hasn't had that game time to actually gel with the team, gel as a player, and find himself and find his own feet. So he needs more time.
Yeah, and also you can have this many like strikers. We already David, Vlahovic. Trying to get Colomani if Vlahovic is staying. Like how many strikers do you need? Like, because at the end of the day, Juventus is playing with a 3-4-2-1. Like you can't have 3 strikers of that caliber just rotting on the bench. So I don't know about that move.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still feel that I think Juve is making an unnecessary purchase in Kolo Muani. I think that Ale is 100% correct in him being too hot, too cold, one game from the next. I would keep Vlahovic. I'd keep Jonathan David. I think he can play behind Vlahovic as a second striker at some points. But I think where Juve really lacks is the defense. I think that they've got some players like Andrea Cambiaso who, I don't know, guys. I'm starting to see signs that this oak just doesn't want to be at Juve anymore. I'm just starting to see signs where the way he reacted at the match, getting that red card unnecessarily, is something that I really don't see this guy staying at Juve anymore. I think that this will probably be his last season before he gets shipped off to another Serie A team. Also, just another player with huge potential for our national team. But I know I'm sparking stupid, unnecessary transfer rumors. No one's ever spoken about it, but I'm just, from what I've seen on the field, I just don't think he's locked in anymore. I'm kind of seeing the same thing I saw with Theo Hernandez at Milan, just not really giving a shit when playing. But let's move on to Roma. Roma is a team that I think is playing chess at the moment with a couple of pieces short. I think that Gasperini's Roma also showed signs of absolute brilliance in their last game. but at the same time, it doesn't look like it didn't look like the pieces were gelling yet. I know it's the first game into the season, but I mean, and like Ali, I'm going to leave your opinion to last here. But Ange, what do you think of Gasperini at Roma?
Yeah, I mean, Gasperini and Roma, what a interesting move. I think you need some time to let Gasperini's juice get into the players. So just give it some time. So as soon as the players start to understand the way he play, the way he wants them to play, yeah, I think Roma can be, in my opinion, I'm already saying it now, top three for sure. Dark horse of the of Serie A.
And I think I really like that statement. Actually, the dark horse of Serie A. I really like that statement. But one of the biggest questions I got to ask is: we've seen Gasperini and Dybala previously work together at Palermo. Obviously, that shirt that you're wearing over there representing. Ale, do you think that we could see a crazy dynamite connection there between Gasperini and Dybala?
Definitely. 100%. I can't go against that. But, as Angelo said, you need to give time for Gasperini to actually gel with the team. And when he's actually gelled with the team, I think him him and the team will dominate. And definitely with Dybala up front, he's going to be the playmaker. He's going to be that player that's going to, for me, I think he's like leadership capable at this point. I mean, everyone looks forward to him. He's the ambassador, the face of Roma at this point. And it's not for nothing. He is like our best player. Yeah, I think time will tell how he's going to do, but I think it's looking bright for now. It is looking bright.
The only question I really do have is we know that Sule is also going to be a very big part of Roma's season.
Oh yeah.
But and Kone, I think Kone is also a very bright talent of Serie A. Let's hope he remains. But my biggest question that I have about Roma is Dovbyk. Dovbyk is a player that to hear that he's on his way out is something that makes me a bit sad, because I really feel that Dovbyk at Roma could be something crazy. How do you feel about that, Ale, knowing that you got the top goal scorer in La Liga to sign for you, and this guy is already almost out after a year of being in Serie A?
I really hope it's just rumors. I really hope he doesn't leave. He's like a phenomenal player. He didn't have the greatest of seasons, but he wasn't bad either last season. He's still putting goals. He still was out and out striker out there and making a difference. He didn't just like a lot of strikers that stayed up front and just waited for the ball to be fed to him. He actually came back to help out and try and bring that ball forward to help attack. And he just didn't have, I think, that team last season that could help feed those balls and help him, create those chances. And it's kind of like sad to see if he's out the door. I mean, no offense, I really do think Jimenez from Milan, that transfer they want to make
That
is
could materialize.
yeah, no, and I feel like Jimenez is really not the same level.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to see Dobbik with Milan though, because already Roma, with Ferguson, I think they have a bright future ahead of themselves, of them in the season. Yeah, I think Ferguson is an exceptional player as well, one of the most underrated ones in the Serie A, in my opinion. Potential capocannoniere in my opinion. Dovbyk to Milan, they're still discussing some things, but I'm not opposed to the move.
Just going back to what you said, Ferguson at Roma, putting him up there for a shot at Capocannoniere is a bit of a crazy call. Obviously, we know the qualities and the potentials that he has, and knowing that we've just come up against Bologna, Vincenzo Italiano's Bologna. Do you guys think that Bologna is going to have a quiet season, or do you also think they're going to have I kind of get, back in the day when Milan used to play Torino, it was always like, oh, we don't know if we're going to win. And I feel like now you got into the point where change positions, no one really knows what they're going to get with Bologna, whether it's Napoli playing Bologna, Roma, Inter. You really don't know what you're going to get with Bologna or what Vincenzo Italiano's got cooking in the back of his head. I still think that this guy is probably the best tactician or up-and-coming tactician in the whole of Serie A. someone that I feel is season on season continuously overlooked, but he plays some phenomenal football, and I'm still shocked that he's not sitting at a top 5 Serie A team, considering where he's continuously taking Bologna and all the teams that he's obviously coached the seasons before.
Definitely, I think Bologna. Me personally, I don't think Bologna will do too well this season. I think they lost too many players, and like it's kind of a jump between he's a great tactician, but you can't do wonders with such a poor team. So I think maybe give it a season or two, let him, as Andrew would say, get his juices in there, and then maybe he can pull something off like next season.
Yeah. The problem of Bologna is not Vincenzo Italiano. Like he's a phenomenal coach. The problem of Bologna is the fact that they lost their essence that they had in the previous seasons. Like you cannot get rid of like as I was saying, those many young players and then replace them with retired players like Immobile and Bernardeschi. He got injured, not even playing one match. I'm seeing it at the team of Bologna like De Silvestri. I mean, Skorupski, he's been there for a while.
Yeah, tutti
I
nonni.
wanna see, I wanna see a new word in Bologna. You must build around Orsolini, Odegaard, phenomenal players, but you cannot sign players like Immobile and Bernardeschi and expect it to do good as the previous seasons.
Yeah, I mean, Bologna's transfer strategy this season was weird. I don't get Bologna's transfer strategy, signing Immobile. I mean, guys, give him a walking cane or something. I mean, you don't go to Turkey and then come back to Serie A and things are going to be okay. Zaniolo
Definitely.
couldn't
Yeah, he
do
got
it.
injured
And
already as well.
yeah, Bernardeschi coming back from MLS. And, it's easy to say, okay, cool. Yeah, the intensity at MLS is the same as like over here, the physicalities. No, but you're trying to justify that you can still play football at the highest level. And you know what? If he does, good for him. But I feel that don't overhype yourself just to make your fans, expect so much, and then you're just going to continuously under deliver. Yeah, I don't know about Bologna. I think Bologna, we'll see what kind of season they'll have now in their up and coming fixture against Como. I think that if Bologna is going to have a good season, I think they'll probably draw with Como, or maybe take it to the end and maybe try to beat them. I'm sure you guys both agree with me here. If we have to move on to the topic of Como is just on another level,
Powerhouse.
guys. These guys are playing chess in the fifth dimension. They are,
Yeah.
the richest club in Serie A. And not just the richest club in Serie A. These guys are not scared to spend money. They're spending money. I mean, the projects that they're putting aside to build up that club is crazy. They are, in my opinion, well, maybe not even in my opinion, I think it's actually a fact at this point, the richest club in Serie A. I think they've got more money than Manchester United, Arsenal. I mean, these are top Premier League teams that earn top dollar. And, well, we actually have this small little team in Serie A that's got more money than Juve, than Roma, than Milan and Inter. I mean, these used to be the superpowers of Serie A from a financial perspective. And while Como could sign anyone they really wanted to, if they
Mhm.
get their eyes set on a player, they could sign whoever they want. Ange, what do you think about Como? Do you think they're going to do anything special this season?
I do believe so. Like I don't think we can call Como anymore a dark horse. I think they're already imploded in this area like head on and yeah, starting from like the management already. Like I'm already seeing initiatives like for the future where tifosi nella curva like they can get free tickets in the future because of the initiatives that Como will put on. It's just like a club that has money, has an idea, has a good coach with Fabregas and good young players that can be very very dangerous. And if you want to have a team that you want to look at and you're very unsure of like what to watch in Serie A, I think starting to watch the Como's games, you can have everything. You have young fast players, tactical, and very very fun to watch games. I'm keen to see them in this Serie A.
Do you think, Ale, that Como plays the most exciting and entertaining football in all of Serie A?
100%. These guys are like they're unpredictable. You don't know what their next step is. They playing down the wing. They're playing from the back, up front. Don't know. You don't know. I don't even think other teams know what they're playing themselves. But the only thing I have to say with Como though is I'm not sure about them signing Morata. That's
No. Morata's
no,
gone,
no, no,
lads.
no,
He's
no,
going
no,
to
no.
Como. I mean, look, Como, like I said to you, I've never, in all my years of watching Serie A, seen a manager, okay, Inter wanted Fabregas, and Fabregas decided to stay at Como. I mean, that's how much
Yeah.
he believes in this project. And I know that Fabregas has also commented a lot on Morata joining. And I know that Morata will definitely join Como because my boy Patrick Cutrone has made a terrible move to go to Parma, but that's my opinion. We'll speak about that just now. But I think that Como is just they're a different they're a different sauce, a different gravy at the moment, and I think that, and maybe I might be wrong for such a wild take, but I think that we'll see Como competing for Scudetto within the next 2 years at this point with the way they're going about their transfer business, their market strategy, their tactical strategy. I mean, think of it like this. And again, I could be wrong here. All 11 players that play for Como can dribble. Every single one of them. It doesn't matter who they are, whether it's a centre back, left back, striker, midfield. Every single one of them can dribble, get past their man, and play good football. I mean, guys, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, unbelievable.
We've got Pavlovic at Milan that can't even pass the ball straight, guys. And here you've got Como that's playing just next level football. So, I mean, it's my opinion. I just think that in the next 2 years, we'll see Como, even competing for a Scudetto. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but yeah, that's just my opinion. Ange, what do you think?
I mean, the roots are already there. I think we're slowly gonna see a very good team that can dominate the league, in my opinion. I don't think that it's gonna be that soon. I think you still need to give Fabregas and Como a few more years to understand that you cannot win a Serie A by just investing in money and then hoping the best. Like you have to have a nice background. You must understand. You must have experience. Especially like by the end of the season, that's where like talked like we said in the beginning, the less team, like the team that makes the less mistakes will take it. And I don't think Como has the mentality right now to be that experienced and to make those mistakes. But European spots they can already aim for this year. So I'm gonna talk in the present, be realistic. Como can easily get into the European spots.
Ange, hold on. Let me ask one question. Are we talking top tier European or are we talking,
Ooh.
second tier European?
Let's say
Because
1
this is
million,
where
1 million rand per match. Don't die, don't die. Come on.
okay. Well, let's leave it till the
Oh,
end when we do our final
Anto,
predictions on the table.
come te senti, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
You're good. So,
Ale, what are you thinking about Como? Give us your thoughts on it, man.
You know what? Como is definitely a team to watch out for, but I have to disagree with you saying that they're going to be, Scudetto title, contenders the
yeah,
next 2 years. I feel like we got another Bologna. A Bologna a couple of years ago when they were coached by Motta. I mean, they were also out of this world, you know, doing well. They've got, I think, champion spots. They did. But I think at the moment now, I was looking, it's definitely like that. I wouldn't say, getting there in the contenders list as yet.
yeah. I also put Como in the top 4, top 5, depending on how many teams can bring us to the Champions League. But my guess is Europa League max. I'm very curious how this this Como team will do, because you do need consistency. So we don't have that much history looking back, because Como is relatively like a new team in the Serie A in the past few years. So they got a nice win against Lazio, which is a very unpredictable for many. So let's see if they can keep up the pace for long.
100%. So I've just read some articles saying that Roma and Como are going to be battling it out for Jimenez, not the striker at Milan because he's cuck, but rather Alex Jimenez, who, having him at Milan is, I'm going to be completely honest with you over here. I'll be very upset if we let him go, because it's just like Salamakers, who I think is an absolute talent. And, to see someone like Salamakers ever leave Serie A, I know that he's bounced around a couple of teams in Serie A. Give this guy the spotlight. He will deliver. He's a good player. The same thing with Jimenez. Jimenez is talent, guys. This guy is so good. We're talking, these are two players that for me can go on to be some of the best players in the world in their position. They're so good at what they do. So I'll be very upset to know that Jimenez might be on his way out, going to Como as well, or going to Roma. But I think let's move on to a topic of Milan this season. And, I think it's just a story of they're getting things so right and at the same time, everything wrong. A team where you sign an incredible coach who we know is a serial winner, considering what he's done with Juve and what he's done with Milan before. You sign him, you give him great players in Jashari, you give him good players in Luka Modric, who was the best player in the field against Cremonese, outstanding. But then, Allegri needs a tall striker, a strong striker in the box. He needs someone like Vlahovic. He needs someone like Dovbyk. And you give him Jimenez? Are you joking? Looks like he doesn't even want to be on the field. I mean, something that it really, and I'll say it for how it is because I'm a Milan fan, but it pisses me off, is this mercato that we do in the lower leagues, the Belgian leagues, and the Dutch leagues. The Belgian leagues, sure, they make some good talent. We see De Catalara, who at Atalanta's under Gasperini was a machine, but Jimenez from Feyenoord is just he's not showing it. And how many players are coming out of the Netherlands today and are good enough to play in a top 5 league and keep that starting spot? Besides Frankie de Jong, can you guys name another player that's come out of the Netherlands of recent in the past 5 years that has been able to be in a top starting spot in a top 5 team in the top 5 leagues? I can't really think of anyone. So, I mean, maybe there's Xavi Simons, but
he hasn't showed himself.
Like, can we just be straightforward here and like Serie A, stop buying in the Dutch league? It needs to fix itself up. The players just can't do it in Serie A. I mean, it's not the first time, it's not the last time. I mean, we had, if I'm correct, the last time I think we had a decent striker in Serie A was playing for Napoli, who came from AZ Alkmaar. But I mean, guys, really, these players just struggle in our leagues and we pay top dollar for them. I mean, we paid 35 million for Jimenez. This guy can't even stop a ball and control it in the box. I mean, you're a striker, my dude. Your body is your biggest weapon. And it was just disappointing me because I see us losing the game 2-1. And I feel that Milan should have won that game 5-2. If we just had a decent striker, someone who can play the ball off, you can use him to play a ball off of him, or use your body, turn and take a shot. I just feel that Jimenez was terrible. I mean, I don't know, guys. What do you think of the Milan situation? What do you think of the dressing room story, Anj?
I mean, Eredivisie is not Serie A. Like I was thinking that Jimenez season this season would have been the redemption arc for him. But starting with this loss against Cremonese at home at San Siro, it's not the best of the starts. Because if you lose against Cremonese, then how is the rest of the season going to look like? it's gonna be very very tough for Milan. I can see them move still for this few more days of calcio mercato with some nice signings in my opinion. I don't know if you agree with that. Nkunku, starting with Nkunku, interesting player. He won everything with Chelsea in this summer. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. I'm not very hopeful for Milan.
Ale, do you think that Nkunku's the right player, the right striker?
You know what? If they bought him before Chelsea got him from Leipzig straight, then definitely, absolutely. But the problem is he's been at Chelsea and hasn't caught a game, hasn't been playing. And when he hasn't shown his worth. He's got lots of injuries and stuff like that. So I'm questioning if that's like maybe the right move for them. Because I'm also a bit confused with Milan's transfer market here. I mean, don't get me wrong, Modric definitely a great player, but what are they going to do with him in the long term? He's got maybe a season or two in him, and they're not. I don't think they're too worried about developing a team. They want to make a team right now to like keep themselves still up there, but like what's going to happen in the future is just going to fall back, and you're going to be back at the same spot again. So they need to like make some changes here, I think.
Yeah, again, it really irritates me because I don't feel that Nkunku's the right guy. Don't get me wrong, he's a good addition. I think that he can bring a lot of value, but you signing a player for 35 million with a sell-on clause, if we sell him again in the future, Chelsea gets a certain percentage. 35 million again down the drain for a striker. Guys, there's a proven goal scorer in Serie A, two of them that are up for sale right now. And you could spend that same money and half the salary for Dovbyk, and you could spend 20 million and take the extra leftover cash and just pay Vlahovic a better salary. Like, I'm sure Vlahovic would take a lesser salary considering that no one wants to pay 12 million euros a season for a striker who hasn't performed last season at all. So he knows that he would have to lower his salary. And I just feel that really we are wasting so much money on players who, again, is it the right signing? I don't think so. I think that on paper, Milan has probably the best team alongside Napoli to compete for a Scudetto. But from a società point of view and a team point of view, these guys are just not on the same page. These guys are not on the same timeline at all.
The one thing Atuso Jimenez, yeah, one thing Atuso Jimenez did was breaking Yashari's leg in a training session. Like, how dumb can you be? Like, in a training session, you go and destroy your teammate's leg like that. Like, nah, man. Like Milan, it's when it rains, it pours, And right now, that's what I'm seeing.
I think Milan need that, as you said before, previously, they need that clear captain. They need that person to lead them. At the moment, they all over the show. I think they're changing formation, changing something. I'm sure Allegri's got something up his sleeve, but we don't know.
Yeah, guys, I don't know. I feel like I don't know what's worse. I think there's just certain statistics that irritate me. Jashari's now just become a January signing at this point because he's out for so long. I know that we need another midfielder. I don't know what is this thing that we don't use Benacer, because I think Benacer is also another outstanding player that we could just use. Another player that I'm going to mention it on this podcast, something that really, really irritates me, guys. Yassine Adli playing for the junior team of AC Milan and not getting a chance to play. Someone with so much talent, so good. If he's just given a chance to shine. At this point, you know what? I just want to see him play in Serie A. I want to see him play at a team in a starting position because this guy is so good. He's just never given a chance. I don't know if it's what it is, but it seems like he doesn't get along with coaches. I mean, I'll never forget the game against Roma specifically. Sends two players sliding across him, takes a shot, bottom corner, goal, and, this guy who's been given an opportunity by Pioli to play delivers. and Fonseca comes in and doesn't give him a chance, and Conceição comes in and doesn't give him a chance, and our Allegri's come in and this guy's been demoted to the junior team, the Milan Futuro team. Come on. Is there something that I'm not seeing about this player? Because I think this is a talent that we actually just letting die in football.
Yeah, I always liked Adli. I don't think he should play for the B team of Milan. Like, you need to give the guy a chance. You can't just let him rot like that. I mean, Milan, they need people like him in the squad. I feel like Milan is very confused. That's what it reflects as well with the fans. I don't understand how the fans will go and watch and pay for Milan's games. Like, you needed to have to stand your ground as a fan and just show that you love more that you love Milan more than the actual managers and the people behind Milan. So you have to wake up and do something. You cannot allow yourself to watch another season of failures. Like, Milan's history is like full of success, and lately it's just been painful to watch. Like, you cannot allow yourself to do that.
So bad. So bad. I think if we have to compete or compare, I mean, is there anything worse right now than being a Milan supporter?
Probably a Lazio fan.
I'm finished.
Not because I had Lazio. I actually like respect them a lot. I'm just saying, you cannot make signings the season after you get. I mean, in the Calcio Mercato after you get someone like Sarri. It comes with a team that you cannot make any signings, and now you're just there one season where you're trying to stay afloat. I'm sorry, Lazio fans.
Yeah, I think Lazio is something we can make a whole episode on, a whole podcast on. I feel that Lazio is, there's so many problems at Lazio. I think that's the only team, like you said, being worse than a Milan supporter is being a Lazio supporter. My heart goes out to these guys. You support a team where your president doesn't really care about you. You don't sign players. You just sell everyone. You don't win the financial scudetto on top of it. That's a bad year at selling everyone. You sign Sadi, who's a brilliant coach, and then you get a transfer ban. So you sell everyone, and you still get a transfer ban because of how bad you do your mercato. I mean, there's a whole episode that we can do on Lazio. I really think that, if Lazio doesn't be careful this season, we might even see them in a relegation battle. That's how bad I think Lazio will do this season. And it's actually
If you look at
sad.
the log, they are bottom three. I mean, I know it's just one game, but they are already bottom three. So it is something to be careful at and pay attention. We spoke about everyone besides two of the best teams, in my opinion, that you must look forward to. One of them is the contenders, title contenders, Napoli. And then also a little word on Fiorentina / also Atalanta, if you want, before we move on, since we spoke already about every other team.
Yeah.
I know, like, Fiorentina got Piccoli, right? So what do you think about that signing?
I think Piccoli is very good for Fiorentina. I don't think we'll see an amazing season from Fiorentina. I know that they just finished building Parco Viola, or that the new training ground, and now they've shifted their focus onto renovating their stadium, which is about time. So I think that Fiorentina is looking to just try and do as best as they can in the league, but try and minimize costs of it totally. A player that, for me, I love this guy, guys. Really, I think he's awesome. From Fiorentina is Mandragola. I think he's oh my days. I think that guy is the symbol of Fiorentina at this point. I think him and Piccoli also match up quite nicely. And I'd like to see something special from Fiorentina this season. I know that they are going to be constraints, but also a team it's not complete. I know that they've got Dodò. I know that they've got Keane up front, but I just feel that
And Edin Dzeko,
Fiorentina
guys.
is
People
incomplete.
sleeping on Edin Dzeko, the comeback of Edin Dzeko in Serie A and at Fiorentina.
I don't know
like
what
one
that
of the
signing
most
is.
random one. So random, like what?
Edin Dzeko is pretty much the god of Rome after Manolas. What do you think of that?
Honestly, I don't get the signing. I honestly don't get the signing. I mean, he was playing in Turkey before, and it's the same story with Immobile, but he's older. So, I mean, what is he going to bring to the table? I mean, much older. I
I
mean,
mean, to answer that question quickly, Fiorentina played actually against this Ukrainian team for the Conference League qualifications, and he scored a 89th minute goal to win the game. So Edin Dzeko right now, I know it's just an Ukrainian team that is just trying to play in the Conference League, but he already scored. So I'm curious to see as well how things will play out for Jack with Fiorentina. Now that also you have Keane and Piccoli, so very interesting way of managing all of that.
I think Mr. Comiso, has a clear vision of what he wants to do with Fiorentina. I think it will take time to see their project fully come to life. But I do see them finishing in the upper part of the Serie A table this year. I think that Fiorentina is a bit of a hot and cold situation. They can do very well and qualify for Europe, but at the same time, they could also finish, 7th, 8th, 9th, in that side.
Between Fiorentina and Atalanta, who do you think will be up? I mean, will be closer to the top positions at the end of the
I
season.
think Fiorentina, definitely Fiorentina. Atalanta's lost too many players. They coach. I mean, they built such a good squad. They finally did it in the Europa League, and then they just every team just bought players, and it just dismantled and just got rid of the entire squad. And it's like a huge rebuild in front of them. But I feel like Fiorentina's got a bit of a stronger squad that they can still keep that team in higher positions.
Yeah, I mean, is Atalanta really that bad though? I know that in the first half against Pisa, they were shocking, guys. They were so bad. But in the second half, I mean, Atalanta could have won that game 3-1, 4-1. They were very good. They were very
Yeah,
dominant.
don't sleep on my
You started to see it
boy
come out.
Scamacca, guys. Scamacca, I think also for national team perspectives, what a guy. And they also have Maldini, De Catalere just behind him. If they can actually put him into, yeah, if they actually can find Scamacca with consistency, I think it's gonna be good to watch.
Yeah, I mean,
They've got Zaleski on the left there. I mean, I've always rated him. I thought he's always a decent player. I mean, he runs down that wing quite fast.
100%. There's no disagreement. I think Atalanta does have some good talent. I just don't know if I don't. You know what it is about Atalanta? It's not that I'm doubting this team. I think they've got a good team, but what I do doubt is the coach. You go from being at Torino where you, in all honesty, didn't do a great job. You were okay, but you were a pain in the ass when you were at Torino. You went to Roma, and high hopes for you because you were a
He,
decent coach
he
at
messed up.
Torino.
He was shocking at Roma.
Juric, yeah, Roma without Juric would have been in the Champions League easily, and I'm even sorry, I'm even saying probably like contending for the Scudetto. If you look at Roma with Ranieri compared to Roma with Juric, two different teams. It's shocking how
Definitely.
Juric can still manage a team of this level in Serie A, like Atalanta after playing. I mean, after coaching Roma and after relegating a team in the Premier League. Like, what is Atalanta thinking? I don't know.
Definitely. I mean, how does Atalanta go from buying a coach that literally, I think, how many points did they get with Southampton? Like 6 in the
It was
entire.
terrible. You got fired. I
I
mean,
mean,
she's like you got relegated, boss.
you got so little points. You really, and now Atalanta, who are trying to keep their team that Gasperini built, and now you're going to sign Juric. I mean, how is that going to solve anything?
Yeah, I don't know. In all honesty, who I was expecting them to go for was Motta, but that didn't happen. So I'm just a little bit like shocked about the whole thing. Even in Italiano, I was thinking maybe he would have gone to Atalanta, but yeah, that didn't happen. The next team that I'd like to move on to is Napoli. Just a quick little touch base on them. I think that maybe we don't fully know what is happening with Napoli, but Lukaku injured. Bit of an issue for Conte. I know that they're trying to sign Rasmus Højlund, but I think after the first game, I have one question to ask, and it's very simple. Is there a team that can do it better than Napoli? Because they move the ball better than any other team that I've seen. Their transition play from defense to attack is insane. Ange, what do you think?
Yeah, I love Napoli. It's a beauty to watch, a beauty to actually see the players know what they're doing when they play. If you like, if you love football, if you love Serie A, you love Napoli. It's just a beauty to watch. Conte is doing a phenomenal job with the players that he has. I know that the preparation is always intense before the season, so seeing them coming up with a nice win against Sassuolo as the first game, it's a good start for the champions of Italy. I think you have to beat Napoli. I don't think Napoli is gonna finish below second place. I think they're gonna do a back to back in my opinion. McTominay looks like Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls. You know, like he can play in every position you put him on, and the teams that play Napoli, they are scared of playing Napoli. You know, and before that, I mean, before actually Spalletti, before him, Napoli wasn't that great of a team. They had great players, but they could never succeed and beat those top teams. Now Napoli is the one to beat, so it's gonna be tough to get before them in this area. Get ahead of them.
Ale, what did you think of Kevin De Bruyne's first game at Napoli?
I honestly thought still has a class left in him. Honestly, great player. I think it was a mistake for City to let him go. Absolute class of a player. Definite need with him. McTominay in the centre there. It was like phenomenal to watch. Like I was fun watching that game. It was like I really, really enjoyed watching that game. I mean, they did amazing. Especially him. He controlled the game. Just controlled everything. He was that centre man. He dictated the entire game. Amazing.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. I must be honest. I think that Napoli under Conte is a threat everywhere on the field. I feel whether the ball's being crossed in, a little bit of tiki taka here and there, a counter attack. I mean, like I said, is there a team that can do it better than them? I don't know. They are so good. It's gone from being a team last season where Conte won the Scudetto with a miracle. Yes, they played less games than Inter, but he did it with half a team pretty much. So now he's literally got his whole bench stacked the way he wants. He's got his ducks in a row. I think it will be the first time ever Napoli goes back to back, if I'm correct. I may be wrong about that statement, but Angelo did say that he thinks they're going to go back to back. I don't know. I'm a little bit
They're
too
getting
minds about it.
they're already signing Højlund, which did very good at Atalanta, not that great with Manchester United. So I'm very curious to see him again in Italy. They're also getting Elmas, so back in the post kind of signing. But under Conte, he can sign whoever he wants. There is a reason why he's signing these players, and the teams that play against Napoli, they are scared. So it is the team to beat.
I just want to move on to the last points of this podcast before we end it off. Just going on to the table. I just want to hear from you guys who you have in your relegation battle. Who is getting relegated from Serie A? Ale, I'm going to start with you.
Tough question. I mean, for me, definitely Pisa. Pisa definitely go down. That's one straight. There's no negotiation there.
He didn't think of that. He knew that already.
The rest, it's tough. I mean, Sassuolo could be could be. I mean, I don't think they have a strong team to keep them up. They're
I
doing
saw
all
them
right.
playing. I saw them play in Serie B last season, and they destroyed every single team. Like they just crashed the Serie B. Like in a way, it was just unbelievable. So I disagree with that.
Okay. But in the last, guys, it's between Lazio and Parma. I just have to put Lazio there, just because. I mean, stuff that.
Very unbiased choice. He's putting his hands up. Lazio relegated is crazy.
Bro, all I'm going to say is if Lazio gets relegated and you are correct, one, we'll post this podcast everywhere because people will be like, we heard it first from Alessandro Pupillo, and I'll take you out to dinner, that's for sure, because that's a crazy prediction. Lazio to get relegated. Andrew, what do you have for your relegation?
So I do agree with Pisa. They lost the best coach of the Serie B to us. Pippo Inzaghi for me was the secret of Pisa. So for me, Pisa cannot handle the spice of Serie A, and I see them in. I mean, hopefully not, but they're probably gonna be in Serie B again. The other team, I'm looking at the log. I'll say Parma, unfortunately as well, because they already an historic team for Serie A, but that didn't convince me yet. I know it's still the beginning, but I don't think they can handle the season. And then lastly, I would say Cagliari. Cagliari for me is the third team that always goes close to get relegated, and for some reason they always stay afloat. But the season is a season where we see them again in the second division.
On my side, I
Okay.
finally see. I mean, I actually can't wait to see them out of Serie A. I think that there's other teams that can play. I think I see Verona going to Serie B, Lecce and Pisa. I know it's a bit of a weird one to say Lecce, but
With
Lecce.
Camarda, your boy.
I don't. I know what Milan's trying to do, and they're trying to grow him with a certain contract clause, and they're paying Lecce to keep him there and play and so forth. But I just don't see a future for them in Serie A. I never really do. They're also a team that don't have a lot of money. And to stay in Serie A, you need to spend some sort of cash. We'll see you later, Pisa. I mean, I don't know. Pisa, I think they'll be fighting for 17th place. I think they'll be the highest of the teams that are going to be competing. But Verona, I'm tired. Please, I'm a little bit. I'm so stufat. I must be honest with you. Playing the stadium, the team, it's just. I'm kind of over it at this point. There's other teams that can come up, and I think Cremonese will definitely stay up. I think the game against Palermo just showed the quality of Palermo in Serie B this year. I think it is their year to compete for Serie A, and I think that Cremonese will definitely stay up. I think they'll be competing also in that 17th place to about 15th alongside Cagliari. I think Cagliari and Genova are also so bad. I watch them in the Coppa Italia. They are terrible. They've literally got nothing really going for them. I don't think the football is going to be good for them this year. So I think we might have 5 teams fighting for relegation, in my opinion. But let's see. Out of those 3, that's my prediction of who's getting relegated. All right, let's start with 7th place. Ale?
It's a tough one. I think I'm gonna
Seventh place is out
go.
of the European spots, right?
It could be a European spot, depending on how we do.
I still think Milan. I think Milan could get. I think they could still be up there. Yeah, I'd say 7th there. Milan.
7th is crazy. Ange?
I will go with Fiorentina. I think Fiorentina. I don't think they have the momentum yet to actually aim for bigger spots than that, and they always like on the zone of the Conference League. It's like they're attracted to the Conference League, so they always go around. They're like a magnet. So I think 7th place, they're always in the zone, so it's a good spot for me for them.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Fiorentina in seventh place. I think that's the best shot for me as well. I agree with Angelo's statements. I think this team needs to actually just win the Conference League. Like, guys, get over your sad history, go win a trophy. And that's the easiest trophy you'll get. Go win it. Um, Sixth place, Ange?
Sixth place, I would go with. I'm gonna put Roma there. I'm gonna put Roma. Um, yeah, Conference League, close to Europa League. It's gonna be tight. I don't think they're gonna be in the Champions League, but I think the season will be very very close. I will put Roma.
Roma's not a bad shot, actually. No, I'm putting Como in sixth place. I think this year, I think Como's going to have a. I think they're actually going to go so under the radar that everyone's going to start making TikToks about how this team came from Serie D and now they're competing for sixth place. I think Como's. This is the year. I don't even think they're going to Conference League. I think these guys are actually going to play in Europa League. So sixth place. That's where I'm going to put Como on my side. Ale?
I think sixth also, I kind of do maybe agree with Como, but then there's also Fiorentina, I think, to also put in that spot. One of those two.
Right. Fifth? I'll start with you, Ale.
Yeah, I think there is a bit of a, because remember I said like sixth, Como, Fiorentina, I think one of those two, 1-1 there. So maybe Como, maybe fifth, I'd put them.
Yo,
I
that's
think
very high.
it is hard, but I kind of feel a shot. I mean, like Fabregas doing really well with them, so
Okay.
why not? Let's put
I
them
like
out.
that. It's a good shot. Ange?
Yeah, I also stand with Como with number 5. Slowly the European spot with the Europa League. I think it's also going to be good for them to also get into the European environments, and I think Europa League is a good way to start. Also because with the Conference League you can have especially like away games, like 4 away in the middle of nowhere. So I will still want them to be also focused on the league, and I think Europa League for Como would be spot on.
All right. Yeah, I think I'm going with Roma here. I think I don't see Roma in Champions League, and I know that Gasperini's not going to get everything that he wants, but I think he'll make do, and I think that he'll qualify. You know, it's nice to have a little bit of a re-entry, knowing that you'll be flirting with, um, Champions League and so forth. Also, if we get that extra spot in Europe, it can become a Champions League spot afterwards in fifth place. But yeah, I'm going to go with Roma. Fourth, this is where the juice and the spice comes in. What are your thoughts, Ange?
Yeah, so I know you're gonna disagree with me, but everyone didn't mention Atalanta. I know we said everything about Atalanta already, but I want to trust my boy Scamacca and the Catelere. I think they can have a nice, good season together. So I'm gonna put Atalanta number 4.
I think everybody trusts Scamacca, but no one trusts Juric.
Yeah, you can always get sacked, So we'll see. Before that,
That's true. That's
we'll see
true.
how it goes.
Ale, what do you got for fourth place?
I think Roma's got this one. I think this is the season that we finally get back to champions. I'm going to put Roma in fourth.
It'd be very nice to see Roma. I don't know. Hey, yeah, no, Juve for me. I think Juve will sit in fourth place. I don't think Juve. I might even say Juve might drop into fifth and swap with Roma. I don't know. I just don't. I think they're going to make it into champs by the skin of their teeth. I really don't think that this team is. It's missing a lot, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't think Tudor's the right guy to lead this team forward. Yes, he comes from an old Juve that pretty much won everything. I just don't know if this is the right team. I feel that they really are missing the symbol, the icon of Juve. Let's move on to third place. Ale, what you got there? You can let's do it like this. Let's do top three, third, second, first. Let's hear what you got there. You can go all three at once.
All right, so I think in third I got Juve. I think they've got a really strong team, nice players. I think they'll put into third. I think with Tudor, I think they might do well. Then second I've got Inter. I think that's logical. I don't think their coach is at the point where they can make them win. And I got first Napoli. I think it's going to be another back-to-back. So,
Ange, top three, fire.
Top three. So very close to what Alessandro said, but I'm swapping Juve and Inter around. I'm thinking number three, Inter. New coach. Yes, they destroyed the previous game, but against Torino. But I still think they are one foot behind Juve. So I'm gonna put Inter number three and Juve number two. And then top spots, like I said throughout this whole podcast episode, Napoli will win it again, back to back. Yeah, top three, Napoli, Juve, Inter.
Okay, so I like your predictions, guys, but let me tell you why. I think very differently. Antonio Conte, for me, I have Napoli in third, and let me give you my reasons why. Antonio Conte, for me, in more than one competition, struggles with management. He also it doesn't work out well. We've seen it when he was at Juve. We saw it when he was at Inter. You know, you're getting to the Europa League final, but you're sacrificing in the league. See it when you're at Juve. You want to do well in the league, but you struggle with the Champions League. And I think that, yes, this is probably the strongest Napoli side we've seen since maybe Maradona was playing. Not that I was around, but I just don't think Antonio Conte is the right guy to manage more than one competition. I think he struggles with it. You'll hear complaints about game time, you know, the fact that they're tired, etc., etc. I don't think Napoli is going to do it. So I've got Napoli in third, Inter in second. Again, I don't know. You know, it's Kivo's first time managing more than one competition as well. And I think that Inter might not go very far in Champions League and go far in Serie A, or maybe they go far in Serie A and they get to like the quarterfinals of the Champions League. I just don't think that. I think they'll actually run out of steam to win Serie A, both teams. And then I have Milan in first. I think that's I think that not playing Europe is a huge help. You know, I think that if Napoli had to play in Europe last season, they wouldn't have won the Serie A. And it's just a matter of the fact that they played a lot less games than Inter last season, that they were able to compete for the Scudetto. But those minutes, you know, they kill over time. And, you know, it got to the end of the season last year, and Inter was out of gas. They were tired. They're running on fumes. You could see it in the Champions League. You could see it in the last few games of Serie A. And that's ultimately what happens in Serie A. It's so tight right up until the last game of Serie A, year on year. 1 point separated Inter and Napoli last season. And I think that Milan this season, because they don't have those games in Europe, it will give Allegri time to work on this team. And I have Milan going on to lift their 20th Scudetto. I don't think that we can go much longer without getting a second star as well. I'm kind of sick and tired of seeing Inter with their second star there, and we don't have ours. I mean, they were formed after us. I don't know why they've got more trophies in terms of Serie A than us, and I know it's only one, but it's annoying. But I think that Allegri is going to, I think he can do it. I think he can get it right, and I think that we'll have, I actually think for the first time ever between Milan and Inter, I think we'll go to that last match day to decide the Serie A on a final match day, that they set the rule, because there's no longer goal difference. That's my prediction. I think it will actually be even on points this year, and I think we'll go to a final match day between Inter and Milan to decide the Scudetto.
That's a very bold choice, but
it is very bold.
there's no right and
I agree.
no wrong answer. You know, there's no right or wrong answer. We can only just sit down, enjoy some good Serie A football, and then we can see at the end of the season who got it right.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, thank you for joining, and to all our viewers who will watch this video, there'll be more episodes to come. If you like this content Please like, subscribe, and forward this on, and drop in the comments below some suggestions that you think we can add to improve this podcast as we keep it going. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, it was fun.
Thank you very much.
See you for the next episode.